Hi YouTube, good evening from the shop tonight. I had noticed when I was looking back to my YouTube videos that the old shop tour video I did a good while ago is probably one of my most popular videos. And it is interesting how you shoehorn a ton of stuff into a little bitty shop. And actually I have a lot more room in here right now than I did last week because I had an old antique dresser I was fixing up that's finally out of here. I think you saw that in the previous video. It's finally in my son's, plural son's room, and one of them is using it, so it's out of my shop. Yay! Anyway, so I'll show you how I've kind of got a little bit more space now and actually where I'm standing. I want to show you a few other things while I'm in here today. This evening I'll show you a couple of old saws that I have, both early 1800s saws, but still excellent users. I use them all the time, and I love them. And I've just reorganized a few things, and I have a shameless plug, but I'm not going to tell you when that is because I want you to keep watching. Anyway, hang on a second. I want to get behind the camera, and we'll do a little whirly-do around the shop and show you what's changed. I've got a few things different, some new lighting, and maybe that'll be of interest to you. Thanks. Okay, first off we'll start back at the bench. There you see an old piano stool, really neat old piano stool, and that funny looking thing there, post looking job, is actually a shroud that goes in the middle of that thing underneath the piano stool, and it covers that Acme screw on the bottom of the seat. Everything's upside down right there where you see it right now, but I'm working on that for a colleague at work, a friend of mine, and I'm trying to fix it up for them. It's pretty old. There you see the two saws. We'll get to that in just a minute. The workbench itself hasn't changed its position. It's still there. There's the bench. Everything's still there. The window's there. There's my little tool rack in the window, and it's actually filled up with junk. If you have a tool tray on your workbench, and this is the equivalent of that for me, it's going to fill up with junk. I don't care how hard you try. I think there's even a spark plug in there for my weed eater. So I really need to clean that out. You know, I was intended to be able to set a plane or something up there when I'm using it, but you see what's happened. Anyway, back there in the back, pretty much everything is the same. I found this at a junk shop. It's a hygrometer, thermometer, and barometer, which is really nice. When I get ready to start the next guitar, I'll be able to keep a better eye on those things there. Also, in the way back, look up there, is a light. No, it's two lights. My friend at work had a bunch of these old lights, under cabinet mount lights, and his shop just taking up space. He'd never used them. He bought them. And so he just gave them to me. And I have, I think, 5 more that I could use somewhere in the house if I want to. I may put another one over here near the drill press, but I think it's a lot better than it was. I got a lot more room. And right now you can see there's a little bit of room in the shop. There's the floor. Yay! And back there is the train layout, the railroad layout. I'm kind of experimenting with a tunnel there. And that's a fun project that I'm just kind of picking at as I have time. Over there, nothing else has changed there. Oh, there's all the extra lights right there. But there's the miter saw table. And there is the rest of the table, the radio. I put up the old sign from our cowboy show right there. And I put another light up there. He had some of those 4-foot fluorescent lights. A few worked, a few didn't. I think I got 3. One didn't work, but one did. And between that light right there and the 2 in the back, it is significantly brighter in here, and it makes a big difference. Also, I moved bandsaw over here into the front corner. Oh, there's my shoulder. Bandsaw into the front corner as well. So let's go back over to the bench, and I'll show you a few other things like the old saws. Okay, I told you I'd show you a couple of 1840s hand saws that, and I don't know how rare they are. They might be really rare, or maybe just a little rare. I've never seen any others like them. But they work great. But wait a minute, I do have a shameless plug. Before I do, I want to try to buy some new camera equipment. I've got a great camera that a friend of mine gave me. I love it, I want to keep it, but I am at a point where I'm ready to move to a different model. So I'm trying to save up a little money to do that. If you want to help and keep the videos coming, because I'm going to use it for that, and I could really use the support, I'm going to give you something in return. If you will go to my Etsy site, and I'm going to include a link right here. Yeah, go check it out. It's really cool. I have lots of pictures since I'm a photographer. Ooh, sunset in West Virginia. Gorgeous picture. Yeah, what else have I got in here? Oh, there's a dandelion picture, macro shot. Really, really, really sharp and just beautiful. And if you like me and you like trains, look at there. That's a gorgeous shot right there. That is an old, or actually a new engine, a reproduction that someone has made. And it actually runs. We went and saw it and rode behind it. It is a gorgeous one. These prints are made at a professional lab, and they are professionally printed. This is not inkjet stuff, folks. This is the real deal nice stuff. I can mount it. I can put it in a frame. I can do whatever you like. I have some antique wood around here I can make frames from. Chestnut. That's an antique chestnut. Whatever. Let me know. There's links on there. Also, I am going to be putting some wooden doodads on there. And right now, I have a business card holder. And it's got a gorgeous profile on here. And for you woodworkers and traditional woodworkers out there, this profile was made with a plane that I have as my oldest tool from the late 1700s, early 1800s. It's a Quirk OG, and it's probably the only one like it. It was a very small maker. It's a gorgeous little piece right here. $15, not very much. Put your business cards right there. Kind of neat. I'm going to do some pegboards, maybe some other things. If you have some ideas, I'd appreciate it. Because like I said, just trying to raise a little extra dough. I got 2 kids. Anyway, now, I promised you saws, and saws it will be. So let me reposition one more time and finish this up. Okay, folks, these are the saws that I was telling you about. These are when I looked up the makers, early 1840s. Also, just for fun, here is that plane, that gorgeous molding plane from the late 1700s that made that profile, that Quirk OG. And this thing is a great plane. It works very, very well. These saws, this one is a J. Taylor and Son Sheffield. So this is an English back saw. I took this thing and I filed it rip cut, so it makes a tenon saw for cutting, you know, along the grain. A piece of wood around here. There we go. So you cut, you know, with the grain this way here. It's a different filing in the teeth. I'm not going to do any saw filing videos anytime soon. That's an art. I don't know if I can get my camera to focus on this any closer or not. Maybe. There's the Taylor emblem right there. Beautiful handle, the tote here, the original medallion. Now, the saw nuts were absolutely just shot. They were destroyed, and actually I think they were missing parts of them. So if you see how nice these are, my machinist friend did these for me. He made these saw nuts, and he'd never even seen saw nuts. They're split nuts, just like the originals were. So he made some new, these two were completely, one was completely missing, the other was only halfway there. He made these two completely, and he retapped the medallion so it would fit the saw nuts that he made for me. These are gorgeous. He did a great job. They look real. They look like they're period appropriate. There's stamps all over this for whoever had this thing before. I love the hook in the front. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous saw. It's heavy and it works great for a rip tenon saw. This one is a cute little fella. This is my crosscut saw that I use most often, or a little carcass saw. I don't know what you want to call it. But anyway, it's a W. Taylor and Son. Now that one was a lot harder to find a reference for. Philadelphia is the best I could find, done by about 1820. No one was able to find anything past that. Little maker, probably went out of business, absorbed, whatever. This is filed crosscut, and it's sharp. And even though it's small, man, this sucker cuts good. Again, this one had a lot of problems. You notice the handle here. That doesn't look too old. Well, that's because it's not. This is the handle that was on it. And I'm not even sure that was the original handle. But it's just in crummy shape. It's not comfortable at all. It's just beat all to pieces. So I saved it. I took it off to save it. Since this was going to be a user tool, I set that aside. The medallion and the saw nuts, they were okay. I was able to salvage them and use them. You can see the split nuts on there again. I took this pattern from a website. I don't even remember where it was, honestly. I'll look for it. If I can find it, I'll add the link that had saw handle patterns. And I just cut it out and then shaped it with rasps, chisels, and files. And it fits like a glove. Just fits around a good good grip on a saw should fit like it fits in your hand. Modern hand saws are just terrible. These flows a lot better with this big hump back here, so this is great. And a bonus, one more, because you were patient and you hung with me through the self-promotion. This, let me hold it back, this is a weird bird here. This is a Disston saw. This thing is labeled in Disston's catalog as a joiner's saw. I caught it somewhere in an antique junk shop. I thought it was cool, and so I bought it. What the heck is this for? I don't know. It's an odd saw. It's very thick. The plate is very heavy. It doesn't have a back, so it is a little flexible. I think this is late 1800s, early 1900s. You can't see an etch anymore. Well, maybe just barely. The handle's original. Everything's original on it. I need to work on it some more. It doesn't cut very good. These grooves aren't deep enough. I think I've heard some people call this a table saw for cutting out like a round top, like say this round piano stool here, because you can kind of go around it. I don't know about that. I think maybe Disston kind of used it as a general purpose handsaw that you could chuck in somewhere, and it works for that. You know, I think theoretically you could use it as a rip cut, although it's not very good at that. It works for a quick crosscut saw, but it's so long. It's just an odd. I'm thinking like a chuck it in your tool bag crosscut, portable crosscut saw maybe. You know, like a joiner's. So what they call it, a joiner's saw. But you know, it's interesting, historical nonetheless. If anybody knows anything more about it, please post comments. I'd love to know some more about it. But at this point, all I know is it was in the Disston catalog I found on the old Rose Tools site, and it was labeled as a joiner's saw. It does have a little nib down here. Let's see, I'll bring it up here. There you go. A little nib you can see up there. So it's an interesting little saw, but fun to use occasionally. It doesn't work near as well as these two. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Hey, thanks guys. Appreciate you hanging with me tonight. And I will try to get some more stuff up real soon, maybe some model railroad stuff as I get some of that done, and a little bit more saw stuff. I think I'm going to try to do a video on the router plane soon, which if you don't know what that is, check back. It's really, really cool. One of my favorite hand tools. Router plane. I bet most of you know what that is though. Have a great night, and thanks again. Please check out the Etsy site. Support me and help me out in that. I could use all the help I could get. Great pictures. If you don't see what you want, let me know. I'll add it, look for it, and get it on there for you. Thanks.